How was getting to the media space? How did you get to the media space?
So I've heard Chris Rock talk about his journey into stand-up comedy, and he used the word, and I think I've not found a more apt way of describing it. He said it was a calling, and I know it sounds pastoral. There's a lot of similarity between stand-up comedy and pastoral ministry, in the sense that we both are on stage for a long time with one mic, just only us talking. But it just there's this calling effect. When I look at everything in retrospect, like Joseph, I was just following as the door opened. You know how your calling incident and accident begin to push you in the line of what you have a passion for. So having said that, I come from a drama family. My father was the drama director in church, and he did a lot of movies as well. A couple of movies, like 3. And so I was in one of them. I was in several stage productions. It didn't quite seem like a career path because of the kind of family I was in. Like, I just felt like, oh, it's just like a service to God, and there is work. And so it was not even in my mind going through secondary school.
So you're a gospel actor.
So it just felt like something that I would just be in drama group all my life. In fact, I thought every church will have a drama group. So no matter where I find myself, I'll just look for a drama group and serve. I mean, that's how I was growing up, because that's what my father did. And it felt like people that were acting or doing anything in entertainment were just not my people that would. Even though when I was in secondary school, my brother, because my brother also went to dancehall. In dancehall, shout out to dancehall, by the way. In dancehall, we didn't have, they didn't allow CDs at the time. They didn't allow expensive biscuits. Dancehall had a lot of rules. And one of the things they didn't allow was CDs.
They didn't allow expensive biscuits.
Yeah. I'm sure. Trust me, I don't know whether they do now, but that time, because uniformity, they just did not want any form of oppression. I thought that was, now thinking about it makes sense. But anyways, I don't want to digress too much, but my brother will come home because his friend's father used to get a lot of all these Night of 1,000 Laughs CDs. And in fact, he used to come with Nollywood CDs. Then one of them was now Night of 1,000 Laughs, and that was where I watched, and I was like, I love this. I'd seen Ali Baba perform, I've seen something. So I used to watch anything comedy. If you're an uncle, you came into my house, you're going to tell me a joke. I used to believe that one of the proofs of being an elderly man is that you have jokes.
Yes.
I don't know why I thought of that.
Exactly. You have experience.
Like, you just tell me joke. Like, you
and
must tell me joke, and I will laugh, and I will ask
and
for
you like that
one.
uncle.
Yeah, I love that uncle. God, I love my favorite cousin. He had stories for days. I just used to love it. And sometimes I know you're lying, but he's just too sweet. Yeah. All these things cannot happen to only you. Who are you? I are just 20. Who are you? What have you? Yeah, but I just used to love those stories.
Yeah.
And so I had that passion. In fact, when I was in secondary school, I used to write jokes. In fact, there are some jokes that I say now when I start my career that I wrote in. And guess what? I wasn't even thinking of doing stand-up. I was just, I promise you I'll just be myself. And then I'll write jokes. I had this book then I wrote, and some girls will take it home to read and bring it back. It's so funny. Like, yeah, I was never going to get girls anyway. So that helped. And then when I got into uni, of course, I was a very smart kid in secondary school. I aced my exams.
So you were smart.
You won't believe it. I know it's not obvious, but I was. I had the best IGCSE result in my secondary school. So even before I did WAEC, I wrote it in SS2. Even before I did WAEC in SS3, I already had my O levels. So before my WAEC result came out, I already submitted my O levels for admission in Covenant. Anyway, so when I got into Covenant, my father, I remember when we were doing the interview for Covenant, there was this form that asked us, what do you enjoy doing? I can never forget this day. And I know my father cannot remember. I just wrote, I like making people laugh. I promise you, that's why, again, don't forget, comedy was not even in my plan. I wasn't thinking about doing it professionally. This is just me expressing myself genuinely. I said I love making people laugh. My father said, you
That's category.
right? I like reading or something. I'm sure I have cancelled it and I wrote, where you see Kini? Is this a Kini? I remember vividly. Anyways, so got into school. First year in school, I just wanted to observe. So I didn't join any drama group. I didn't join anything. Instead, I was writing exams. I was writing SATs. I was learning Java. I was just being a geek. You know?
For first 3 years in Covenant?
No, first year.
First year, okay.
So, but some of the people that knew me in secondary school, don't forget, secondary school, I went for drama competitions. I was like drama king, even though I was doing well academically. So people that knew me in secondary school, I joined drama group now, especially when they act during services and all of that stuff. And I'm like, you can do this. I say, I'm still observing now. So year 2, I joined drama group, and that's where everything changed. Because again, it was a mixture of getting older, getting more conscious of myself, who I am,
calling,
and then finding a home in the Covenant University theatre group. I just used to love the rehearsals. This was the first time I was away from my parents. My father was not directing me, but and I was really doing a lot more.
Yeah.
Should I still summarize it, or do you still want me to
keep
continue?
going?
Okay. Because there's a lot. There's
Of course, I know.
I remember one time that things changed for me. I can remember almost the tipping point in my life was SWEP. Engineering students.
200 level.
Around 200 level.
Yeah.
Just before you enter 200 level, I think.
After
200.
semester.
Yeah, after first semester. So, we were going to have Tuesday. They wanted it that, you will still have all the services we had during normal school.
Yeah.
And Pastor Intia, the chaplain, held a meeting with some of the ESCOs of service units, and I was an ESCO at the time. And they were like, we want drama group to present drama in every single service that we're going to have throughout this SWEP. Is it possible? I said no. My director said yes. He now told me that in chaplaincy they don't used to say no. That in winners they don't say no. I said what? How can you have drama every single? But guess what? We did it, and we're coming up with
Throughout
drama
the semester.
throughout the SWEP.
SWEP, okay.
We're coming up with drama every single. And I noticed that I loved this. First of all, I now discovered that I could create because I was one of the major creators of the dramas we're presenting. I love the fact that I could create. I love this entertainment space. And what sealed it was in year 3, Easter. We're not allowed to go home. That was the famous. There was a lot of brouhaha in school at the time, and it was week of spiritual emphasis.
Yeah.
And that throughout that Easter, we're having morning, afternoon, evening time in church. And guess what? We're presenting dramas
At every session.
2 out of the 3, like 2 out of the 3. And at night, we're recording a theater play. Like that period was what was responsible for me dropping out. because I'm sure that you see that concentration of rehearsals, coming up with script. I was having the time of my life. I was like, what? Again, I was tired because even after we present in the evening, we'll now come back in the night. Like we do if you got approval to use the chapel. We did one Ideja stuff. Like, it was